Hey guys, it's Elaine. I hope everybody is doing well. Welcome. We have had the virus in my house, and at this time I'm happy to note that both my sons are doing better. They've recovered. I'm not quite all the way there, but I'm battling it out. Anyway, welcome again. Welcome back if you've been here before. Or you've subscribed, welcome if you're new. And remember, if you like this, give us a thumb up. If you love it, sub it. That being said, what you're looking at is me scanning in the next few pages of And the Coming of Nighttime. The first portion, or Act 1, is pretty much done. I'm now moving on to what happens after Josette gets to the lab and sees everything. And this particular section deals with that situation of her coming upon the lab, finding survivors, etc. So those are the pictures that you're looking at. And of course, the process is, as I do with a lot of things, the pages and or panels are hand drawn. They are scanned in, and then because I work in Clip Studio Paint, the pages are placed in the Clip Studio Paint. I'm still deciding whether or not I'm going to do the initial painting because it might be faster with Painter Essentials 6, because it'll let me paint bucket fill certain colors that for some reason I can't get that paint bucket fill thing to work in Clip Studio. For some reason, whenever I try to use the select tool to select my spot and then put the color in, it just does the whole page. So I quit fighting with it and decided that this might be my best workaround. Other than that, what else can I say? You know, the story is moving ahead, as you can see. Yes, I am doing other things. And for me, that's because it's, this is a sci-fi thriller, and it's kind of a dark story in many ways. There are a few moments of humor, but it is basically a very dark story. And sometimes it can put writing darkness can put at least for me, can put my head in kind of a crazy space. So having things to do, that help me find humor, or just to take myself out of that headspace for a little bit, so I can take a break and then come back to it with fresh eyes and go, okay, this is what I've done before. This is what I need to do now, and keep going. So that's why you've seen me doing the redo of Whale, as well as me doing the illustration for Jack Niambe's Kooky Stories. So it's not like I'm giving up on my work. I just needed to take a break. December was a very hard month for me. January wasn't any better. And I'm recording this in March, though you won't see it until the first full week of April. And it's been an interesting month, and there's things I can't talk about because we've been asked not to discuss particulars of certain things. But I have been pitching a script. This coming Saturday will make the third week. It's been somewhat intense. How well you do on one round, goes, okay, this, and then you go to the next round, and how well you do on that round decides if you go to the next round and whatnot. And you're pitching different people, and these people get to decide whether or not you get up to the next level. And for me, it's a big thing. For other people, it'd be like, yeah, it's not that big. But for me, yeah, it's a big thing. And I don't want to go into too many details on that. But about And the Coming of Nighttime, as I said before, the graphic novel is being adapted from a script. The script was originally called Iscariot. It was my end of year project for my year at the AFI, because writers at the AFI, you had to crew 3 films, go to all your required classes, and then at the end of the year, you had to produce 1 feature-length script. Second year fellows, as they used to be called back in the day, have to produce I think you crew or something on a movie, I'm not sure, but you do have to produce at least 2 full-length scripts to be a writer, to graduate your second year at the AFI. I did 1 year because that's all that could be afforded. I had 2 small kids. I didn't have anybody to help me take care of them in LA. And so, it was just, it just wasn't going to work for me to go to school full time while trying to deal with 2 very small children, and with little to no money. And so, but what happened was that script got optioned. And I thought the person, because they had worked with Roger Corman, knew about sci-fi and horror and things like that, because that's something that Roger Corman is known for. He's like he was the schlock king of Hollywood. But he also, Brian De Palma, James Cameron, Gale Ann Hurd. There were a lot of, almost a whole generation of filmmakers at one time or another worked under him and learned their craft. And as this person, and I thought she knew the genre, and I didn't realize until later that she didn't. And because I let other people tell me, you don't need a lawyer for this. Just trust this person. I didn't follow the advice of a lawyer that I knew. And I signed a contract. I signed a contract that put me in a situation that by the end of working on this project, I was a few months behind on my rent. I was quite a bit in debt, and we ended up losing our home following the Norwich quake, in part because of that decision and some other worse decisions I made following that situation. It just got worse and worse. And in fact, I took that script and I was so disheartened by what happened, what was supposed to be my first real professional outing, that I literally destroyed the script. I tore it up, threw it away. I am now sitting down rewriting that script and thinking over things I wrote then and how to better do those scenes, and also trying not to include things that were worked out with this person, because the last thing I want is for this person to get up and say, oh, you wrote that, this particular part of that script was written when you were working for me and I had the option, and, I'm just trying to avoid any legal headaches. And also, there's also still, as I've realized as I work on this, there are still some bad feelings and heartbreak on my part. And it makes working on the project, it makes it necessary because I really do need to work through those feelings. But it also makes it kind of difficult because I'm as I'm sitting there working on the project, whether it's actually doing the graphic novel or the screenplay, those things come to mind. In fact, I've stalled on the screenplay itself. I've gotten up to about the final. I'm almost ready to close out Act 2, going into Act 3, and I stalled. My head just went boom. I couldn't think anymore about what happens next, and I know how it needs to end, but sitting there and putting those words on the paper wouldn't come. And part of that is I believe, in part because of the way the situation ended. I had to extend, it was supposed to be a 6-month option, got extended to 18 months. So I had to extend it twice. And what was supposed to be a simple rewrite that shouldn't have taken, like I said, 2 to 3 months, ended up taking 18. And at the end, I just quit fighting and just said, okay, what do you want me to write? And wrote. And I still have bad feelings. And so part of me is struggling with that pain and that anger while trying to get this done. But I will get it done. I am determined to see it done. And in the meantime, I at least have enough so that book 1 of the graphic novel can get done immediately. And my intention right now is to finish book 1, get it out, and while I'm working to get that edited and stuff, start on finishing the script and working out book 2. Anyway, I have almost taken up all the time of this video yakking away and have no time for any real music. But thank you for sticking with me. I hope when the graphic novel is done, you'll find it interesting enough to want to take a look at it. And there will be a call out for beta readers, and I may make that announcement on here on YouTube when we get further on. But if not, if you're following me on Facebook, Elaine Haygood, or the book and The Coming of Nighttime, and I'll post those links in the description box, or following me on Twitter at LensCapper1, which I'll also leave a link to, you'll be able to find information on that there. Anyway, I hope everybody is, take care of yourselves, take care of your loved ones, listen to the reports out there. Don't worry about that Cheeto in charge. Listen to the CDC and doctors who know what they're talking about, the people who are on the ground working with us. Pay attention to those people. Take care of yourselves, and understand that taking care of ourselves means not necessarily doing everything we want to do, but also having respect for those around us. Okay, that's it. Talk to you later. Bye, guys.